Take a look in a book, take a look in a book. What you're gonna find will open up your mind, from Shakespeare's lines to Mother Goose rhymes. When you learn to read, you set yourself free. Just open up a book. Take a look, take a look, yeah!
Hi, welcome to First Steps. I'm Ellen Phillips, Head of Children and Teen Services at the Enfield Public Library. First Steps is a 6-part series that informs Enfield residents about early education issues in their town. The segments include story times, book talks by Enfield students, and lots of information on helping your child to succeed even before school begins. Our first segment, Raising a Reader, will give you many practical tips for encouraging early literacy in your child. Children learn about reading and writing before they learn how to read and write, and there are some very simple things you can do to help them. Today, our early education consultant, Lisa Jordan, will discuss print awareness, the recognition that words tell a story. Then, in Countdown to Kindergarten, Kathy Carroll talks about what your child should know before going to school. Did you know that there are many ways that you can help to prepare your children socially so they can spend more time focusing on learning? Kathy will tell you all about it. Stay tuned for First Steps.
Hello, my name is Lisa Jordan. I am the kindergarten teacher at the grammar school at Summersville, and I am here today to talk to you about print awareness. This is something that is very important that we stress with children before they begin school. We want them to understand when they are reading that it is actually the text that carries the meaning versus the pictures. Certainly in early literacy, we always start by reading the pictures. Children need to know that they are all readers. And by beginning reading pictures, they are gaining confidence, they are viewing themselves as readers, and that is always where you want to begin with a child and making them feel good about themselves. The next step for that child would be to begin to understand that the things at the bottom of the page are actually the what is carrying the meaning. And the activities that I'm going to be sharing with you should be really fun activities. They should be stress-free. You should be having enjoyment with them. This is not a testing situation. This is not a stress full-time. These are just ways I'm hoping to share with you activities that you're probably already doing at home and how to enhance those activities to prepare your child for kindergarten. So the first activity I want to talk about today, we're going to use a very popular book that's called Mrs. Wishy-Washy, and you'll see that I'm going to use this in a number of activities that I show you. What I really like about this book is it is repetitive text. So in other words, they're going to talk about the same thing. You're going to see the same words on the same page for your children. So an idea that you might like to do is you're going to read the story to your child. I'm pointing to the words so that they're starting to understand this is what I'm reading, not this. Again, yes, we start here, but now we're moving here. And a great thing to do, so I would read aloud to the child, "Oh, lovely mud," said the cow, and she jumped in it. And an activity you can do at home, I have something that is called a sentence strip. This can be made of anything. You can use a piece of paper, a piece of cardboard, whatever you like. But what I like to do is I'm going to sit next to my child, and I would recommend that you sit on your child's dominant side. So if your child is right-handed, you would sit on their right side. It just helps with what they're viewing you doing. So I'm going to write the word. We might ask them to point to the first word. It's O. I'll write the word O. I will do my finger space. I'll ask them to point to the second word in the book. It's lovely. Lovely. and so on. I'm not going to do the whole page with you. But generally what you're going to do is you're going to write the pages, write the words onto your sentence strip, and then you're going to cut them up. So there's the first word. And so on. And a wonderful activity to do with children. This is great to do on a rainy day. You can enlist the help of your older children to have them write out the text for you, is then you mix it up. So you're going to have a pile of words for them, and then they need to match the text to the book, and then they're going to read that in the sentence. So that's a wonderful idea to do with understanding that it's the text that's carrying the meaning. Another wonderful idea I wanted to share with you is something that we call the object box. And this is can be a really monumental moment of saying that it's actually the text that we're looking at. So we lay out our objects, and a great place to find these kinds of things, I shop all the time at flea markets, I go to tag sales, I go to the Goodwill, I go to the Salvation Army, poke through bins and barrels. You can find all kinds of wonderful materials. Young children are at a sensitive period for small things. So if you can have the actual object of a cat versus a picture of a cat, all the better. So I would lay out my objects. I have a cat, I have a fan, I have a mug, very small mug, miniature, and I have a sun. So I would name them cat, fan, mug, sun. And then I have word labels. So we would lay these out. We might want to know what the children know a little bit about sounds. What sound do you think this word starts with? K, k. Can you find a card that begins with the letter K? Do you see a K that says cat? And what about the next one? So we're going to label each of these objects, fan and mug and sun. And again, these might be objects just around your house. You might use a fork and a mug and a napkin, and then you can write on any piece of paper. But the reason I chose these particular objects is these are phonetic objects, which means that they are spelled the same as they sound. So when I say k, at, that's a phonetic word. So as we're reading, we're going to read cat, fan, mug, and sun. Then we remove the object. This is where the children become so excited, because then you're still going to follow the same course. Cat, fan, mug, sun. You can read the next one. Cat, fan, mug, sun, and so on. You'll continue. Take away the mug. Cat, fan, mug, sun. And if your child is really interested in this and enjoying it, as an extension, you can write these words for them. I use, I'm going to write you, I call it a secret message. And again, this is simply a piece of paper that I've cut up. I'm going to write the word, but I'm not going to let the child see it. And then another great thing to do is if you fold it into thirds, it's like a small package. It's like a little gift for them. So they're going to take your package, they're going to open it. It says cat. If they're not sure what it says, that's okay. They can just match the letters. If they can't actually use their sounds yet, that's fine. They're still getting the idea that we need to look and match. C goes with C. So that's something that I call Object Box 1, another really fun activity that you can do at home. And really understanding that literacy is at the heart of all of your child's education. So they really need to become confident readers if we think about everything that we do in life that involves being able to read, and not just being able to read, but loving to read. We need to really try to help children fall in love with reading. It's really at the heart of all that we are trying to do. Another wonderful thing to do, I'm going to go back to Mrs. Wishy-Washy, is to find a I call them sight words, and you'll see them behind me is my word wall. These are things to look for in the classroom. Again, these are things that you can even make yourself at home. Believe it or not, this was a book, an alphabet book that was in really bad condition, and I ended up restoring it and giving it a second life by using the alphabet letters to make a word wall. And a word that's very important on my word wall is the. The. That is a word that they're going to see everywhere. Everywhere you look and read, you're going to see the word the. So a nice activity that you can do is you can ask your child to, how many times can you find the word the in this book? Or you might want to start just on a page. So again, you're reading it together. Oh, lovely Mud said there it is, said the cow, and she jumped in it. How many times did you see the on that page? You would ask your child. And they would be able to tell you, I saw it one time. And as they become more competent, oh, lovely Mutt said the pig, and he rolled in it. How many times did you count the on that page? They'll say, oh, it's there once also. This is something, as they become more proficient and become more comfortable, you can ask them to count how many thes in the whole book. You could ask them, bring all the words that say the that we cut up earlier. And again, these are fun, really fun things you can do maybe while you're preparing dinner. You might be busy making a salad in the kitchen and your child is looking for something to do. Perhaps they're underfoot. You're needing an activity for them. These are wonderful things because you can set them up at the kitchen table or at the the kitchen counter, and give them things like this to do. So perhaps you've written out the words in a short book before they come home or while they're having a nap or whatever the case may be. And then you give them these sort of activities to do while you are busy with something else. They can still hear you, you're responding to them, you're giving them attention, and they're also learning. So it's a wonderful, wonderful sort of ideas. Another idea I wanted to share with you on print awareness is labeling. The type of writing that I do with children in kindergarten is we use a John Collins writing program, so our early writing is labeling. So when I'm asking them to draw a picture in a journal, most of them don't feel comfortable, going away and independently writing a story or even a sentence or maybe even a word. They're just not, they don't have that confidence, they don't have that experience, they may not have those skills. So how we begin in kindergarten is by labeling. So they might draw a picture. I always ask them to draw a picture of something that's important to them. And very often that's a parent or a pet, something that's important, a nice friend that they have. And then we label. So it's just simply writing a word. So this is cat. And that is how we break into writing in kindergarten. So a wonderful experience for your child is for you to label your home. And something that works really well is sticky tack. It's not tape, it's not glue, it comes off cleanly. That's what I use to hang up things in the classroom. It's available at Staples and things. And you can have the child make a basket of cards. You would write them. You may want to do this together. They can see and watch you writing. Stove and chair and door and window and all around your house. And I would probably start maybe with only 5 labels though. And then you ask your child to go around and label those things. So you can go by theme, you can go by room. We're going to label the things in your bedroom this week. And these are great, again, activities to do on a rainy day, activities to do if it's a snowstorm and you're stuck in the house. You can decide you're going to label a certain area. So again, I wanted to just make sure that we understand that these are really supposed to be light and fun and exciting activities for your children. Again, we don't want them to be stressful. We want them to not only be very enriching in their environment, but a wonderful bonding experience. Because as they're learning and feeling more confident, they will certainly be blossoming into happy young people.
Hi, my name is Kathy Carroll. I'm a kindergarten teacher at the Alcorn Elementary School, and today I was asked to speak about what is expected of incoming kindergartners. Having had the opportunity to teach kindergarten for the several years that I have, I found that the children that come in and seem to be the best prepared are the children who seem to be well rested and well fed with all of the things that they need. We would like to hope that parents from the time that they're born are coming in, talking with their children and reading to their children and singing to their children, sharing songs and nursery rhymes and poems, talking at the dinner table about their day, what they did, what they liked, what they didn't like, were there any problems, how could those problems be solved at all or better the next time, and also talking about what they liked best and perhaps what they didn't like. Kindergarten teachers like to keep in contact with parents and let parents know what we're learning and how we're learning it. So it would be our hope that parents would be discussing what's going on in the classroom. Children come to school with a variety of experiences. So not only living through those experiences, but talking about them, perhaps reading more about them. For example, if the children were to go to the zoo, or if the children were to go to perhaps the Butterfly Museum in Massachusetts, talking about those experiences and reading more at the library for information regarding those experiences, perhaps drawing pictures, making art projects. That is a child who's going to walk into kindergarten very, well prepared, well read, well spoken to, well experienced, with manners and respect for themselves and for others. Children who are well prepared for kindergarten seem to be able to have a conversation and look and listen. They're able to follow directions and take care of basic needs. I came across a great article, What Educators Need from Parents, and I just wanted to share a few things with you. Sending your child to school well rested, well behaved, and ready to learn is very helpful, and that you as parents stress to your children the importance of education. If you value education, your children are going to value education. They're going to value their own education, and they're going to work harder to do better, not only to impress themselves, but to impress you as well. So if you're stressing the importance of their education and having them understand that school is their job, like mom has a job, dad has a job, this is very important. Stressing the importance of education to children so that they really get the most out of what they're learning about so that they'll succeed is so valuable. I know I spoke about communicating daily with your children, but if you're asking them about their day and what they learned and what they liked about it, you're really sending them the message that education is important and that what they're doing is valuable and important to you. And if it is, then they're working hard to not only please themselves, but you as well. This article talks about providing a consistent place to supervise your child's homework. That is very important. In kindergarten, we do not require homework, but children are out and work gets done, and I'm sure that I could speak for most of my colleagues when I say that we do send that work home so that parents can look at it, and if you choose to do it, that would be great. That provides some nice continuity for your child. They know what they missed that day, so as they're moving into the next day, they're well prepared and ready for what's coming. Turning off or limiting the TV, cell phone use, and computer use, there are very valuable educational shows. I don't want to discourage that. But we don't want to lose the kids in front of the TV all day. Cell phone use, talking to grandma and grandpa or aunts and uncle, that's important, but We don't want to have them make that what they do all day. And the internet. The internet not only needs to be very well supervised, but also there are things on there we wouldn't want our children to have access to. Teaching and reinforcing manners and respect, as I touched on before, while this sounds very simple, it is very obvious which children come in well-mannered, with respect. And in order to be able to teach in a classroom, that classroom needs to be able to be managed. And if we're stopping important educational time to redirect behavior, then that's educational time that's being lost. So it sounds simple, but probably one of the most important things is the manners and the respect. Also, if you have the ability as a parent to attend school activities like open house, parent-teacher conferences, or other student activities, that's another great way to be involved, but to also stress to your children the importance of education and how they're doing. I could probably speak for all of my colleagues when I say that if you have a question or a concern or a suggestion, you are more than welcome to, stop in briefly in the morning or at the end of the day, or perhaps make an appointment with your child's teacher. We want to hear what's good. We need to hear what's not good so that we can address it. And oftentimes we can't know if you don't tell us. We may not be aware. And we're a team. Parents, teachers, children, we're a team. And because this is your child's job and most important job, we want it to be as successful as possible. So we need to keep open lines of communication. Okay, so that concludes my discussion of what's expected of incoming kindergartners. I want to thank you for watching, and I want to remind you that you are your child's first and best teacher. So if you're laying the foundation for your children in preparation for kindergarten, and then you're working as a team with your kindergarten teacher to help your child succeed, then your child will be successful. And if you have any questions or concerns for your teacher, please tell them right away. Thank you so much.
This is one of my favorite books. It's called Max's Words. I'm a reading teacher, and so when I read this story, you will know why. Max's Words. Max's brother Benjamin collected stamps. He had stamps of many colors and sizes. They had ragged edges and sticky backs. Some had famous people on them. Others had places, buildings, or flowers or trees. Benjamin spread his stamp collection across his desk. He showed it to his friends and family, and everyone admired it. Max said, "Can I have a stamp?" "No," said Benjamin. Max's other brother, Carl, collected coins. He had coins of many sizes and values. They came from different countries. Some were silver-colored with rough edges. Others were copper-colored with smooth edges. They were all shining. They had people and buildings on them, and the year in which they were made. When Carl showed them around, everyone admired them too. Max said, "Can I have a coin?" "No," said Carl. Max wanted to collect something, but he wasn't sure what. He gave it some thought. Finally, he said, "I'm going to collect words." "Words," said Benjamin, and he laughed. "Very funny, Max," said Carl. Max began collecting small words. A, the, its, and, ate, who, to, and, but, was, in. He cut them out of magazines and newspapers, and he spread them across his desk. Pretty soon, Max found bigger words. Hungry, asked, alligator, through, crocodile, hissed. He cut them out and added them to the others. Max's collection grew rapidly. Max collected words that made him feel good. Park, baseball, dogs, hugs. He collected words of things he liked to eat. Bananas, pancakes, ice cream. He collected the words that were spoken to him. Good morning, goodbye, go away. He collected his favorite colors, green, blue, brown. Max opened the dictionary and found words he did not know. He copied these on small slips of papers. Slithered iguana. What are you doing, Max? Asked Benjamin. Let me see, said Carl. Max's collection grew too big for his desk, so he spread out his words on the floor. He separated them into neat little piles. When Benjamin and Carl arranged their collections in different orders, it didn't make much difference. But when Max put his words in different order, it made a big difference. A blue crocodile ate the green iguana. The blue iguana ate a green crocodile. Soon Max's collections of words spread into the hallway. Sometimes Max gave away a word or two. See you later, alligator. Have a nice day. When Benjamin put his stamps together, he had just a bunch of stamps. When Carl put his coins together, he just had a pile of money. But when Max put his words together, he had a thought. Maybe I could trade a word for a stamp or a coin, please. No, said Benjamin. No, said Carl. I've got 1,000 stamps, said Benjamin. When I get a few more coins, I'll have nearly 500, said Carl. And when I have a few more words, I'll have a story, said Max. A story takes a lot of words, said Benjamin. I know, said Max. You don't have enough, said Carl. Let's see, said Max. Max sorted through his words. He picked out a few and began arranging them on the floor. Once there was a little brown worm. He wished to be a big green snake. Benjamin and Carl stopped what they were doing and came over to look. Max continued his story. The worm slithered through the grass. It stuck out its tongue and hissed loudly. Max stopped to choose some more words. Benjamin butted in. Then along came a big, mean green crocodile. And it was Carl's turn. I'm hungry, it said. Benjamin grinned. He chose a few more words. The crocodile opened its mouth wide and Carl scrambled for more words. He wanted the crocodile to eat the worm, but Max was quicker. The little brown worm darted down a hole, glad to be a worm. Hey, I want another story, said Benjamin. So do I, said Carl. And I want a stamp and a coin, said Max. Oh, all right, said Benjamin. He gave Max a stamp. Carl gave Max a coin. And Max gave them each some words, and he kept the rest for himself. And that's the beginning of the next story.
We hope you've enjoyed the first half of our show. If there's one thing that we want to stress, it's that learning does not begin at school. Learning starts at home, the day your child is born, and it is often as simple as singing, reading, playing, and talking together. Now you'll hear about Enfield's KITE Committee, Key Initiatives to Early Education.
Hi, my name is Amy Woodbrow. I'm the Partnership Coordinator for the Enfield Public Schools. As part of my position, I sit on the KITE Committee. KITE is Key Initiatives to Early Education, and I've been asked to talk to you a little bit about what KITE is and what we do. KITE's mission is to ensure that all children in Enfield have a quality early care and education experience. We want everyone to be ready to learn when they come to kindergarten at age 5, and we know that this begins at birth. Our goals are to provide information and resources to families in Enfield. We want to empower parents to be a part of their children's early experience and part of their school readiness. We want to make sure that our community sees the value of early education and wants Enfield to be a place where families can live and thrive. And we also want to provide professional development to early educators in Enfield so that everybody is on the same page and we're all working to ensure that our children succeed when they come to school. How do we do this? We do this through many initiatives. One of our initiatives is called the Parent Leadership Academy. The Parent Leadership Academy is something that takes place every year. It's a 10-week training open to all parents in Enfield. In this training, parents learn how to do public speaking, how to advocate for children, how to run effective meetings, how to plan events, and much more. At the end of this 10-week training, the group uses everything they've learned to put on some kind of event. It's a wonderful training, it's been very successful, and we have many active parents in our community today that have been through it. Another initiative we have is doing outreach to early educators. Early educators are key to our success. They see the children before they come to school. So we've built a network of meetings where early educators and our kindergarten teachers and other school representatives come together twice a year to talk about issues and discuss the curriculum and learn from each other. It's very important for this dialogue to continue so that we have a seamless transition from kindergarten to early education. During the year, we also hold community conversations. At these community conversations, we discuss issues surrounding early care and education. When people come together and talk, great things happen. We build support for early education. Some of the topics we've held are full-day kindergarten, school readiness, transition to kindergarten, and it's great to hear from the public on what their expectations are, how some strategies they see that we can implement. We always walk away with brand new, fresh ideas. Why we do this? It's simple. Parents are a child's first teacher and their most valuable resource, and we need parents to take an active role in getting their children ready for school. In Enfield, 70% of children under the age of 6 years old live in families where all parents work. That means that parents are busy, and we need to give parents tools that they can use during mealtime, during bath time, riding in the car, so they can effectively work with their child. KITE is about everybody in our community working together to ensure that children in our community thrive when they get to school. Anybody who is interested in learning more about KITE can go to our website, www.enfieldkite.org. There's lots of information about our committee and also about how you can get in contact with us. We would urge anybody to join our monthly meetings, to join a committee, and to come out and support early education in our community.
My name is Cindy, and I go to Enfield Street School, and I'm in grade 1, and I choose Go Dog Go, and and my favorite part is when a boy dog says hello to a girl dog, and the girl dog says hello, and then they walk away because the boy dog doesn't like her hat, so he takes the feather off of her hat.
Hi, I'm Kaylee, and I'm a 6th grader at Eli Whitney, and the book I chose is The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien. 13 dwarfs, 1 hobbit, 1 wizard, 1 big journey. 13 dwarfs are going on a journey to reclaim their treasure from Smaug, a 2,000-year-old dragon. But they need one more companion, and Bilbo Baggins is the hobbit they need. On the way, they meet elves, trolls, orcs, giant spiders, and Smeagol, a rather ugly creature. At first, Bilbo is very scared and hates the journey. But soon, his adventurous side comes out and he keeps saving the dwarfs. He even witnesses the Battle of Five Armies. This series is not really so different from the Harry Potter series. The part that keeps the story going is really just a small detail. Some of you may be thinking, if I want to read the Lord of the Rings series, I have to read The Hobbit. But you really don't. It's just a really great story and you'll be sorry if you have to miss it.
My name is Alex and I go to Enfield Street School and I'm in grade 1 and my book is Big Frank's Fire Truck. And my favorite part of the story is when the big fire comes and the rescue vehicles and helicopters have to put it out.
Hi, my name is Diamond Kiss. I go to Enfield Street School. I'm in grade 2. My favorite book is A Bad Case of the Stripes by David Sharon. I would recommend this book to a friend because the doctor in this story, he comes over to visit Carmela Cream because on Carmela Cream's first day of school, she gets a bad case of the stripes.
We'll close today's show with performances from the 2009 Connecticut Loves to Read Day, which is a celebration of reading sponsored by the Enfield Public Schools and hosted by the library. Please join us for the rest of the series, and remember, it's never too early to help your child take the first steps on the path to reading.
We just have a few poems to do. Some of the things we were practicing in first grade. One of the ways we get first graders to really pump up their fluency with their reading is to do some choral reading, poems, anything we can read together in practice that they can do almost on their own. A couple of these we're going to read together, some choral reading, and then a couple are going to be read by a couple students. So some of the poems that we're going to be reading today are by Jack Perlutsky, Jackie Lagoni, Laura Numeroff, and Marie Louise Allen. So I'm sure these poems will warm your heart up.
Thumbs in the thumb place, fingers all together. This is the song we sing in mitten weather. When it is cold, it doesn't matter whether mittens and wool are made of finest leather. Thumbs in the thumb place, fingers all together. This is the song we sing in mitten weather. Winter signs are everywhere. The winter winds are nipping. Winter snow is in my hair. My winter nose is dripping. Stuck in the snow. Stuck in the snow, Dad's pickup truck. Sorry, Dad, that's your bad luck. Shovel it out, he smiled and said, I guess it's my bad luck instead.
We're missing a person for this one, so we're having him fill in.
When winter comes, I love to skate. I get there early, I stay quite late. I don't go too fast, it's all very new. There are so many things I wish I could do. I know how to glide, I know how to spin around, but sometimes I end up on the ground. One day I'll do a figure 8. When winter comes, I love to skate. Hats and mittens, scarves and boots, scarves and boots. Hats and mittens, scarves and boots, scarves and boots. That's how we dress for the cold and the snow. Hats and mittens, scarves and boots, scarves and boots.
A little faster, see how fast we can go. Hats and mittens, scarves and boots, scarves and boots. Hats and mittens, scarves and boots, scarves and boots. That's how we dress for the cold and the snow. Hats and mittens, scarves and boots, scarves and boots. Even faster. Okay, one more time, warp speed. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Hats and mittens, scarves and boots, scarves and boots. Hats and mittens, scarves and boots, scarves and boots. That's how we dress for the cold and the snow. Hats and mittens, scarves and boots, scarves and boots. They're just going to say their names.
Hi, my name is Marissa. My name is Alan. My name is Jack. My name's Rachel. My name is Bridget. My name is Isabella.
Thank you for watching the Winter Wonders of Eli Whitney. Oh, that's Matthew and Aaron. Those are my kids.
Hi, my name is Matthew. We are St. Micah's first graders. We will be reading our diorama book reports. My name is Joseph. Title of my book is Dinosaur Days. Author Joyce Milton. Illustrator Richard Rowe. My story took place in the forest and near rivers. A few were called Triceratops, Saltopus, and Stegosaurus. Grass and plants, also trees were around them. My name is Cameron. The title of my book is Soccer Game. Author Grace Macarone. Illustrator Meredith Johnson. My story took place outside on a soccer field. There are two teams. They are red and blue. They play a soccer game and have fun. The blue team wins 1-0. My name is Amanda. The title of my book is If You Were a Rabbit. Author Frances Coney. Illustrator Carol Watson. My story took place outside in a hutch. There are two rabbits. They eat carrots. This book showed me how to take care of rabbits. My name is Alessandra. The title of my book is Marley's Big Surprise. Author Linda Staton. Illustrator Evan Shane. My story took place in the rainforest. There are 6 animals. They are a sloth named Marley and his friends, a frog, a snake, a lemur, and a toucan, and a chameleon. There are trees, flowers, and a pond in the center of the rainforest, and a cake to celebrate Marley's birthday. My name is Ashley. Title, Mittens. Author, Lola M. Schaefer. Illustrator, grader, Susan Hartung. My story took place in a house. There are two characters. One is a boy named Nick and a kitten named Mittens. In the house there is a TV, a couch, and a bed. My name is Shannon. Title Pinkalicious. Author Victoria Kahn and Elizabeth Kahn. Illustrator Victoria Kahn. My story took place at the house of Pinkalicious. There are pink cupcakes in the house. Pinkalicious eats so many pink cupcakes. Her body turns pink. My name is Luca. Title, If You Take a Mouse to the Movies. Author, Laura Numeroff. Illustrator, Felicia Bond. My story took place outside in the snow. There are two characters, a boy and a mouse. They are building a snowman. My name is Imani. Title, Bright Stanley. Author, Matt Buckingham. Illustrator, Matt Buckingham. My story takes place in the deep blue sea. There is a fish named Stanley, a lobster who guards his treasure chest, a shark, and a school of fish. There are reefs and seagrass. Under the sea is a cave that Stanley swims through. There are shells and starfish on the bottom of the sea. My name is Cassidy. Title, Stanley in Space. Author, Jeff Brown. Illustrator, Scott Nash. My story took place on a planet called Tyra in outer space. It is past the stars shaped like a foot and past the little white moon. It is a small, round, brown planet with mountains and fields like Earth. There are 4 people, Mr. and Mrs. Lambchop, and their 2 boys, Arthur and Stanley. My name is Lucas Reyes. Art title, Dazzle the Dinosaur. Author, Marcus Purfester. Illustrator, Marcus Purfester. My story took place in a valley that protected the dinosaurs when they were alive. There are many trees, grass, leaves, plants, sand, and rocks. There are 2 important dinosaurs that you should never forget. The 2 names are Dazzle and Maya.
Take a look in a book, take a look in a book. What you're gonna find will get you hooked. Read a little more about your team, about the score. Just open up a book, take a look, take a look. Take a look in a book, take a look in a book. No matter what your age, turn a page, turn a page. You can open any door when you read a little more. Just open up a book, take a look, take a look. Take a look in a book. Take a look in a book. What you're gonna find will open up your mind, from Shakespeare's lines to Mother Goose rhymes. When you learn to read, you set yourself free. Just open up a book. Yeah!